Hello students, welcome to Target IES. I hope you are having a wonderful day. We are going to start a very simple topic, very interesting as well as very important for examination, which is pre-stressed concrete. Pre-stressed concrete. A very interesting topic also. Let us see the difference between RCC and our pre-stressed concrete. We have finished RCC some days back, right? So when it comes to RCC, reinforced cement concrete, the concept was very simple that whatever concrete I have, it is a cheaper material, that's why we are using for construction purpose. This concrete is excellent in taking compressive stresses. If there is a compression, it is very excellent, it can safely take it, but it is poor in tensile stresses, in taking tensile stresses. If there is any tension, it cannot take and my structure will fail. Agreed or not? That's why whenever you are constructing a structure, okay, let us say a beam, what I used to do, I used to introduce, let us say this side of this beam, I used to introduce certain amount of steel, okay, certain amount of steel. Now what used to happen, the concrete used to take what, compressive forces, and whatever this tensile stresses are being generated in the structure, it used to taken by my steel bars and my structure will be safe, right? You can ask, sir, why can't we just construct the entire structure with steel because it is good in taking compression and tension? अरे बेटा, economy भी कुछ बात होती है ना. If you are constructing entirely with steel, steel is expensive, we can't afford that. So obviously and it is also heavy. So we used to go for concrete structures, and wherever the tensile forces or tensile stresses are being generated, we used to introduce steel there and my structure will be safe, right? So this was the simple concept behind our RCC structure. What is this pre-stress structure? See, scientists have applied their brain, okay? They have used a very simple concept. You know how the forces act, right? You know how the forces act. Let us take, this is one surface, surface 1. Okay, on this surface there is a 5 Newton force is acting. 5 Newton force is acting. So what is the net force on this surface? It is 5 Newton, right? Let us take a surface 2 on which there is a 5 Newton acting and there is a negative 3 Newton force. Okay, negative 3 Newton force. Negative 3 Newton means if this is the positive side and this is the negative side, so arrow is taraf aa gaya. So this is 3 Newton force. So what is the net force here? The net force here is 2 Newton. This is the concept behind pre-stressing. This is the exact same concept. See, what I am doing is I am introducing certain stresses in my body even before application of load, so that when the load is being applied, certain amount of stresses will be reduced and my concrete will be able to take without help of steel. This is the concept behind pre-stressed concrete. Let us try to apply it and understand it. Let us understand that my tensile strength of concrete is very less. You know, we can take it as equals to flexural strength, which is 0.7 under root FCK if you don't have any details, right? So let us take, we are using 40 grade concrete, or let us say 25 grade concrete, 25 M25 concrete. So what will be my tensile strength? That will be 0.7 into 25, that will be around root 25. Root 25 is 5 into 0.7 is 3.5. So 3.5 Newton per mm square. This is the tensile strength of my concrete. This is the maximum tensile stress which my concrete can take. So what I am doing is, let us say because of the loading condition, the tensile stress, the maximum tensile stress which is being generated in the body is 10 Newton per mm square. 10 Newton per mm square. Where the 10 Newton per mm square is being generated, if I am introducing a compressive stress of 7 Newton per mm square, what will be the net tensile stress at that point? At that point, net tensile stress will be 3 Newton per mm square. What concrete can take? 3.5 Newton per mm square. That means now, even without introducing of steel, without using any steel, if I am able to generate opposite nature stresses, then it will nullify each other and my concrete can take this load easily without help of reinforcement. So this is the concept behind pre-stressing of concrete. We are stressing the concrete, we are introducing the stresses in concrete even before application of load. That's why we are calling it as pre-stress concrete, and using this we can avoid any steel reinforcement. Concept is clear? समझ नहीं आ गया लॉजिक? काफी सिंपल लॉजिक है. So let us try to understand how we can apply this pre-stress concrete. See, you can read the notes also simultaneously. You can read the notes. I will explain whatever it is written there, and you will understand in a better way. I am dividing this pre-stress into two modules, okay, because I have to solve numericals also. And always remember, if you are preparing for ESC, whenever you are solving the numericals, avoid the calculator, okay. First step is to avoid calculator. Solve it with hand as much as possible. Forget you can use calculator, but better, yeah, there are a lot of examinations, EST, state PSCs, where calculator are still not allowed. So better try practicing with hand, okay, hand calculations. There is a ESC hack series available on YouTube by Target IAS. I only thought that ESC hack series, just YouTube it. So I taught you various mathematical shortcuts, okay. Using that shortcuts you can solve the complex problems in a short time. So use those hacks, 4 hacks, I think 4 or 5 videos are there, 10-minute videos, that's it. Just watch it, it will improve your mathematical skills. So there are some differences between my pre-stressed concrete and reinforced cement concrete. First of all, what is the code book? IS 456. But यहाँ पे whenever we are studying about pre-stress, my IS code book is IS 1343. Remember, and I think revision year was 1980. Revision year was 1980. So this is a very important bit, first important bit when it comes to state PSCs. Okay. So what is the code book of pre-stress concrete? It is IS 1343. And there are certain differences which you have to understand even before I go into the concept. Generally, we don't prefer this pre-stressing in normal concrete structures, okay. So generally if the grade is higher than M30, only then we will be going for pre-stressing of that concrete. Remember, we don't do pre-stressing for M15, M20, this type of concretes. Minimum M30, okay. We prefer M40, M45 like that. I hope it is very clear, right? So we use only higher grade concretes. That's the first hack. And this is the second important bit. Third important bit, let me make it very clear. To get the stresses in my concrete structure, not for reinforcement, remember, to implement the stresses in this concrete structure, we will be using certain members. Obviously that certain member will be steel in most of the cases, but this is not for reinforcement. I will explain you the differences, okay, just for now. But here we will be using steel wires, not rods. There we used to use 10 mm rod, 12 mm rod, 16 mm rod in RCC. Here we are using wires, okay. So basically let us try to understand the terminology which will be constantly occurring in this RCC subject, okay. So first one is wires, and then strands. If you combine strands, then you will be having tendons, and you will be also having cables. So what is this wires? You know the individual steel wires, right? If you are combining steel wires in some combination, let us take 2 wires, 3 wires, or 7 wires like that, you will be forming a strand. Okay, what is the strand? It is combination of wires. If you are combining certain strands, okay, you will be getting a tendon. It is combination of strands, okay. Certain strands, let us try to understand. If you have wires, combine it, okay. So combine these wires, you will be having strands. So if you are combining 2-3 strands like that, or 7 strands like that, what you will be getting? You will be getting tendons. Okay. If you are combining these tendons, what you will be getting? You will be getting cables. Combination of tendons, okay, tendons. I hope it is very clear, right? So we have bars, steel bars of like 8 mm diameter, 10 mm diameter, 12 mm, so on, 16 mm, 20 mm, 25 mm. That's a different task. Here we are talking about what is the steel we are going to use in pre-stress concrete. Generally we will be using steel wires, we will be using tendons. I hope it is very clear, right? Cables kahan pe use karoge? In bridges you would be using cables, right? What is the cable? We will be having wires. Combined wires you will be getting strands, combined strands you will be getting tendons, combined tendons you will be getting these cables. You know the cables, like steel cables, how they look like, right? Very complex. So these cables are nothing but combination of tendons. I hope it is very clear. So in bridges, whatever cables you are using, they are made with this, and these have very high strength compared to my steel bars. Steel bars kitna tha strength? 450 Newton per mm square or 500 Newton per mm square, right? Of 500 Newton per mm square. Let me make it very clear. The steel, whatever we are using in pre-stressing, it is of very high magnitude, to around 2000 Newton per mm square. Very high strength steel wires we will be using, right? I hope you know the difference now. Higher grade concrete, higher strength wala steel bars, and IS code book is IS 1343 1980 revision. Three very important bits. Remember, these are the main differences between our reinforced cement concrete and pre-stress concrete. Now let us get into the concept. How to introduce this pre-stress? Very important concept. How to introduce this pre-stress? Let us see the first case in which I am introducing some steel wires along the neutral axis. ठीक है, यहाँ पे मेरा neutral axis आ गया. So I am introducing the steel wires here. I am stretching them to the maximum using this jacks, screw jacks, whatever I have, oil jacks. I am stretching it to the maximum, and यहाँ पे मैंने प्लेट लगा दिया, मैंने यहाँ पे उन्हें फिक्स कर दिया literally. I am applying bearing plates there. ठीक है. So now what will happen? Let us try to understand. As we are stretching these bars, as I have stretched this wire, okay, what will happen? It will try to come back to its original position. Agreed or not? मैंने stretch कर दिया, यहाँ पे cut कर दिया. Now what is going to happen? Obviously it is trying to go back to its original position or original dimension. So it will be compressing my concrete. You can clearly see it will be compressing my concrete. How? So at the center there is, if you are seeing the cross section from this side, what you will be seeing? You will be seeing there is a bearing plate which is applying compressive forces on my concrete beam. So your compressive force diagram will be something like this. Okay, compressive stress diagram will be something like this. P by A. I hope it is very clear. तो compressive force हमने generate कर दिया body में, ठीक है. So obviously when the load is acting, so I will be getting certain amount of stress. You know how much stress it is going to generate. Obviously because of the loading there will be moment generated, and M by I is equals to F by Y. I need the stress. So what will be the stress? It will be moment due to this loading, which is moment due to dead load plus moment due to live load divided by your moment of inertia into Y. Agreed? So I will be getting my stresses like this. Okay, let us say this is because of dead load. I am writing it separately. This is because of dead load, and this is because of live load, and this is because of live load. I just wrote it separately. That's it. Okay. So ऊपर compression आएगा. You know how it will be like, and bottom you will be having tension, right? So now what will happen? What will be the stresses at the top? The stresses at the top will be just P by A plus MD by I into Y plus ML by I into Y. This is the stresses at the top. What will be the stresses at the bottom? Let us try to understand. If I am taking compression as positive, P by A, and यहाँ पे क्या आ गया? Tension आ गया. So what you will be getting? Minus MD by I into Y minus ML by I into Y. You can see this value is very much less. Agreed or not? So the tensile stresses whatever are being generated will be very less at the bottom, and concrete can easily take it. We are not introducing any reinforcement. Let us be very clear. We are just using the steel wires for introducing compressive stresses. That's it. I hope it is very clear, right? So this is the case 1. Now let us see the case 2. Case 2 देखेंगे. This case 2 is little bit more interesting. Instead of stressing it at neutral axis, I am stressing it little bit lower to neutral axis. Okay, so instead of stressing at neutral axis, I am providing these wires. I am stretching it here. little bit away from my neutral axis at some eccentricity E. This has lot of benefits. Let us try to understand what is happening. Whenever I have introduced my weights here at this position, what is going to happen? Obviously, at this point, compressive forces will come. Previously, my weights was applying compressive force at neutral axis, so there was compressive force all over the body. But now what is happening? Now my compressive forces are below my neutral axis, so obviously this part will be in compression, right? So now the body, whenever I have applied such forces, it will try to compress, and the top part, whatever I have, obviously as bottom part is under compression, the top part will be under tension. Okay, I hope it is very clear. So what will happen? It will modify something like this. Just give me a second. So it will be modifying something like this. The top part किस में है? Tension में है. Bottom part you can see it got compressed. Bottom part is in compression, top part is in tension. Simple concept, right? So what is the advantage now? Let us try to understand. I hope you know, right, how to transfer forces or stresses from one point to other point. See, previously when my force was at neutral axis, my stress was P by A, right? If my compressive force was P, the net compressive force whatever being generated in the body, it was P by A. Simple si baat hai. But now let us be very clear. I am not introducing this P at neutral axis. I introduced it below the neutral axis at some eccentricity E. So how to transfer this force to the neutral axis? I hope you know, right? How to transfer the force from point A to point B if I have some force P. Simple. Just add equal and opposite forces at point B also. P and P. What is the net force at P? 0. The total force on this plane, that is nothing but P, which is coming from this point A, right? Nothing change. Now just see these two forces, right? How they are on a plane. It is like two forces of opposite nature acting at some distance E. It is nothing but a couple being generated, a moment being generated. Common sense की बात है. In which direction a moment is being generated? You can clearly see it is in this direction a moment is being generated. You can clearly see the forces, right? One is going like this, one is going like this, so obviously moment will be in this direction. Common sense, pure common sense, no problem at all. So what is the moment being generated whenever you are transferring this force from this point to this point on neutral axis? It will be P, as well as you will be having a moment, right? Done? Very clear, right? So same concept we are going to use now. Done? Simple है, याद रखोगे. So let us continue with this topic. What is the advantage here? And one more thing, even before going and explaining you using the numericals, you can also see now the top part is in tension and bottom part is in compression. Your structure is slightly modified. You cannot see the deflection this much in concrete. Obviously I am drawing this much so that you can understand. And now when the load is acting on the structure, obviously you know top part will be getting compressed and bottom part will be in tension. As already top part is in certain amount of tension, when the compressive force is acting, the net force at the top will also be less, and bottom part here it is in compression, and because of the loading bottom part should be in tension, right? The net force, whatever net stress whatever acting here will also be less. So here what is happening, there will be less stress all over the body. यहाँ पे देख लेना, here we got plus and plus, right? Here the stresses increased because as I am introducing only compressive stresses, even though the tensile stresses got reduced, which is a good thing, but my compressive stresses increased a bit, right? Agreed or not? Because I have introduced this P by A, my compressive stresses increased at the top. Agreed or not? So when I am doing this, introducing it below the neutral axis, as the top part is getting some tensile stresses, what is happening? Even at the top part the stresses are less, even at the bottom part stresses are less. I hope you got the concept. Simple hai? Now let us try to derive the formula. Let us say this is my beam and certain amount of loading is acting, First tell me what should be the way it will be deflecting because of the loading condition. Obviously it will be deflecting something like this, right? You know it very well. You know it very well. So how it got deflect? It got deflect like this, right? So it got deflected like this because of the loading. What is the direction of moments being introduced? You can clearly see. If you are taking this plane, just consider this plane, you can clearly see it is in this direction. In this direction my moment is acting because of the load. Common sense ki baat hai, you can clearly see, right? How the beam got bent? It got bent like this. That means moment is also acting in this way. Only then the beam got bent, right? I hope it is very clear. So this is the your direction of bending or direction of application of moment. So remember this. Now let us see what is happening. Now let us see what is happening. So I have introduced some steel wires here at some eccentricity E. Because of it, whenever I am changing it, whenever I am introducing this force P from here to here, okay, I am shifting it from here to neutral axis. What will happen? Obviously, because of this force P, what will be the stresses being generated? Compressive stress will be generated all over the body, right? Because it is at neutral axis. Kitne ka? Force divided by area. What is your stress? Force by area. So what is the force here? Compressive force or tensile force? Obviously it is a compressive force. Let us say this is my compressive force. Let us say this is my compressive force because of the load P. When you are transferring this P from this below the neutral axis point to neutral axis point, obviously let us try to understand how will you transfer. Here I had a force P on this surface, you can clearly see, right? So I want to transfer it to neutral axis. So whenever I am transferring to neutral axis, what I will be doing? I will be adding the equal and opposite forces at neutral axis. Now see these two forces, see these two forces. It is like force P and force P acting at a distance of eccentricity. You can clearly see what is the direction of this moment. It is this direction. It is this direction. In this direction it is clearly moving, right? Moment. You can clearly see because I have a force P here, force P here. So this is how it will be implying the moment, right? So here I am getting a moment which is P into E, because when I have a couple, right, you might have read in your mechanics of material, if this is F, this is F and the distance is D, what is the coupler moment being generated? F into D, right? Similarly here I have PP at the distance E, so my moment being generated is P into E, right? You can clearly see at the top, at the bottom we have compressive and at the top we have tensile. At the bottom I have compressive and at the top I have tensile. Okay, I have tensile. You can, in whatever direction you want arrows, you can obviously take. You can take compressive as positive and tension as negative, or tension as positive, compressive as negative. It doesn't matter. Obviously at the end result will be the same, right? So here what you are getting, what is the stress in this external fiber? Obviously in external fiber the stress will be more. How much it will be? Moment is P, so M by I into Y. This is the stress being act at the bottom fiber, right? Clear hai baat? And what will be the stress here acting? It is PA by I into Y. If you want to represent it with the top fiber, distance from neutral axis to the top fiber, then YT. And here I am writing YB because distance from neutral axis to the bottommost fiber, like that. No need to write. If you want to write, it's fine. Next, obviously because of the loading condition, because of the loading, the moments are being generated. Agreed or not? In which directions movement are being generated? I have just explained you, right? So in this direction, in the reverse direction of PE moment, my moments are being generated. Agreed or not? Plus I am writing dead load and live load separately. I am writing dead load and live load separately. You can add it and write. It doesn't matter. So what I am getting? I am getting compressive forces at the top and tensile forces at the bottom. So here I am getting compressive forces and here I am getting tensile forces. How much? MD by I into YT, MD by I into YP, plus because of the live load. Now because of the live load, same diagram, ML by I into YT, ML by I into YP, as simple as that. So what is the net stress in the bottommost fiber? That is nothing but P by A plus, you can clearly see it, here I have compressive force, here also I have compressive force, so plus PE by I YP. यहाँ पे क्या आ रहा? यहाँ पे आके आपका टेंसाइल फोर्स है, यू कैन सी द डायरेक्शंस ऑफ एरो, राइट, इट इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. सो आई एम गेटिंग द टेंसाइल फोर्स, it is md by I into yb, and here also you know it is tensile force acting at the bottom because of the loading, so minus ml by I into yb. Okay, as simple as that. So I got plus plus minus minus. Okay, this will be the net force, net stress, whatever coming at the bottommost fiber. Now at the top fiber, let us try to understand. Okay, so see the direction of arrows, see the directions of arrows, it will be very simple for you. So here P by A. Okay, so वहाँ क्या था, P by A compression था, so I am taking it as positive, and tension I am taking it as negative. You can clearly see here it is in opposite direction arrows, it is tension being generated, minus PE by I YT plus these compressive forces whatever are being generated, md by I into yt plus ml by I into yt. Okay, so you can clearly see previously in the case 1 I had only P by A plus md by I into y plus ml by I into y, but here I have same thing, but we are subtracting certain amount of stress from it. Therefore at the top layer also the stress is less, and here bottom layer also my stress is less. Okay, my bottom layer also my stress is less. I hope it is very clear. याद रखोगे, right, याद रखोगे. In bottom layer basically whenever there was no such pre-stressing concept because of the load, there were only tensile stresses. If I am considering tensile with minus, only these minus stresses were there, but now I am adding this much amount of compressive stresses, therefore the net value will be further less. I hope it is very clear. Top layer value is less, bottom layer value is less. These are the two concepts in which you will be applying the concepts of pre-stress. I hope you are perfect in the theory now. I hope you understood what is happening here. Now what you have to do is you have to open the notes and read whatever I have just explained to you. Okay, whatever I have just explained to you, and make a note of this case 1 and case 2. It is not present in our notebook. This is additional topic, so just write down this diagram so that you will understand in a better way. Okay, I hope it is very clear. Case 1 and case 2, got it? So there are certain advantages and disadvantages of pre-stress. What are the advantages of pre-stress and disadvantages? Let us try to understand in detail. This is a very important concept, especially for state PSCs, and you can also expect a question in MCQ from this topic. See, for the same loading condition of normal beam as well as this pre-stressed beam, you know the stresses generated in pre-stressed beam are less, right? Therefore a smaller section is enough, right? You need not go for these dimensions, beam to no need. You can go for a smaller dimension one compared to this beam. Agreed or not? You can just satisfy the need because the stresses whatever are coming in pre-stress are less. We are cancelling certain amount of stresses, right? Stresses are less, therefore sectional size requirement is also less. So my breadth into depth requirement is less. As depth is less, okay, for the less depth it can take more amount of loading, that is the concept, right? Therefore what is happen, you can go for longer span. So what I can do, my L by D ratio here can be more also, because even if the depth is less it can take lot of load on it. Therefore even if the length of beam is more, absolutely no problem, this depth whatever is it can take it. I hope it is very clear, right? Therefore it is suitable for, as the stresses introduced in pre-stress are less, smaller section size is enough. Smaller section size is able to take the more load, therefore you can go for larger span beams. Concept is very clear. Due to reduced section size, what is happening compared to RCC, I can go for bigger L by D ratio. Make a note, very important note, not in the notes, make a note. The L by D ratio in your pre-stress is in the almost 45, in the magnitude of 45. So in general for pre-stress we will be maintaining this L by D ratio as 0.45, which is very huge, right? So length of the beam will be 45 times that of depth. काफी बड़ा बीम है and size काफी कम है. I hope it is very clear, right? And obviously what is happening, as less stresses are being introduced, there will be less cracks compared to that of RCC, right? Less cracks compared to that of RCC. More will be utilized because of the concrete only. Concrete is being utilized more, steel is being utilized less. I hope you completely understood the advantages, right? What are the advantages? Smaller dimensions, therefore we can go for longer spans, as well as the dead load will also be less. Let us be very clear, smaller size hai, smaller section size, therefore the dead load whatever being applied on the member is also decreasing. It can take more load, because for more load also it is giving considerable amount of stresses only, and obviously the cracks will be less, and as the cracks are less, it is more durable, it will give you longer life. So these are the advantages of pre-stressing. Now coming to the disadvantages, obviously it comes with certain disadvantages. The thing is, it is costly. It is costly compared to that of RCC. Why? Because you need lot of labor, extra labor, because previously we were easily casting, but now we need a labor so that they can cast this pre-stress concrete, right? And we have to introduce this pre-stress high strength wala steel hum use kar rahe hain, and then you have to obviously apply this whatever forces and then cutting it. So there is lot of labor involved in this. Obviously what is happening, it is more expensive, okay, it is costly, and at the same time you need skill labor. You need skill labor, a labor who has a concept of how much pre-stress should be applied. So obviously you need a skill labor, or more technically involved labor is required. And there is also one big problem, that is quality control. One big problem, which is quality control. What is this quality control? See, at the beginning, this whatever this steel wires whatever you have, they are giving certain amount of stress, but over the time what will happen is they will be losing that amount of stress. So the pre-stressing whatever you are applying, it will be lost. It is a very major problem. So we will be learning this losses of pre-stress in a complete new module. Okay, next module, losses of pre-stress, very important concept. You should be knowing how much pre-stress is being lost. At the time of application there will be loss of stress available, but with time it will be decreasing. I hope it is very clear, right? So loss of stress of wire will lead to poor performance. This is one of a major disadvantage when it comes to pre-stress concrete. Now let us see what are the various types of pre-stressing. There are various types of pre-stressing, like pre-tensioning. So let us be very clear, wording yaad rakh lo. Pre-stressing can be introduced by various types. One is pre-tensioning. Next one is post tensioning. That means while casting, pre-tensioning means while casting only you are applying the stresses. Post tensioning means you will cast the concrete structure, you will be just leaving a space in between. Okay, you will be casting, there is no steel involved, we have just void there. Or after you casted, you will be applying steel wire and giving the stresses. That is post tensioning. Okay, pre-stressing can be introduced by pre-tensioning or post-tensioning. I hope concept is clear. There are also different type, like internal stressing, internal and external. There are also full pre-stressing, limited pre-stressing and partial pre-stressing. Okay, write down full pre-stressing. This is very important. Obviously it will come in notes, but बहुत बाद आएगा, almost in fourth module like that it will come. But for now please write down this pre-stressing, right? Full pre-stressing, limited pre-stressing and partial pre-stressing. Partial pre-stressing, very important, yaad rakh lo. Full pre-stressing means there is no tensile stresses being generated in my structure. There is absolutely no tensile stresses. That is full pre-stressing. You are pre-stressing to that level, you are applying so much amount of compressive stress that in the bottommost portion there is no tension. Okay, next, limited. In limited, obviously there is being tension developed, but within the limits, in partial, obviously we are also stressing it, and there will be cracks also, being generated, but the cracks will be within limit. Here what is happening, there is tension being generated in limited pre-stressing, but no cracks. Remember, no cracks. Here there will be cracks, but within permissible limits. I hope it is very clear, right? These are the various types of pre-stressing: full, limited, partial. But now the most important thing from where the question comes is the post-tensioning and pre-stressing or pre-tensioning. Okay, so what is happening in pre-tensioning, I will explain you. Basically you can read the text later on and you will understand wonderfully. Okay, what I'm doing, yeah, so before casting itself, what I am doing, I am stretching a steel wire. and on this steel wire I will be casting my concrete. There will be concrete mold in which the steel wire will be passing before casting itself. Now what I am doing, I am pouring the concrete and I will leave the concrete so that it will set properly, cast सीधे से हो जाए. Obviously for how many days? 28 days, so that it will gain its strength. After that I will be cutting my steel bars. Here there will be a strong bond is being developed similar to that of RCC. In pre-tensioning it is similar to that of RCC. We are developing a bond between my concrete and steel. The anchorage is because of this bond only. Okay, in post tensioning, let us be very clear. In post tensioning, I will be leaving a duct, I will be leaving a space open in between my concrete. I will be leaving a space open. Okay, if you are seeing from this side, so यहाँ पे एक duct के लिए space open कर दूंगा. I will be using some plastic so that my concrete will not enter while casting. After casting, once I get my concrete beam, what I will be doing, I will be applying the steel wires here. Okay, stretching it, and if you just cut the wires here, what will happen? Obviously this will go inside, right? No purpose, it will not serve any purpose. What we do is, after stretching here, we will be applying an anchor. See, you might be heard this word before, right? Anchor. Basically in shipping industry, if you want ship to stand in water, they will throw the anchor and it will stand there, similar to that. Okay, here we are using an anchor. Okay, it could be of conical shape, it could be of rectangular shape, we'll learn it later on. So this anchor will stop the wire from going in. But here in pre-tensioning, we don't need any such anchor. There is a strong bond between concrete and my steel, which will avoid my steel by going in. Okay, which will avoid my steel to go in, because there is a strong bond, and this is an advantage of pre-tensioning. There is no need of anchor. Got the concept? But here there is a problem that I have to wait 28 days. Only then I can use this abutment, whatever I have, instrument I have, to again stretch the wire and cast my concrete. So it is lot of cost, right? It is taking lot of cost. So what I can do is, instead of going for casting one by one concrete, I will be having an abutment. Abutment कहते हैं इसे. So what I will be doing is, I will be stretching my steel wires, and on this I will be casting multiple concrete bars. I will be casting what? Multiple concrete bars at once. समझ नहीं आ गया? So once I cast multiple concrete bars, after 28 days I can cut it and I can obviously use it for construction purpose. And always remember, this method is Hoyer's method. Hoyer's method or long line method. So we can cast multiple concrete beams at once. So what are the advantages of pre-tensioning? याद रख लो, pre-tensioning advantages. What are the advantages? Very simple. There is no need of anchor. No need of anchor. There is no need of anchor. It will be bonding with concrete perfectly. It will act as anchor itself, right? I hope it is very clear. There is no need of anchor, and obviously you can do bulk production. You can do bulk production using this technique of Hoyer. You can do bulk production. Therefore, railway sleepers, you know, all the sleepers are of same dimensions, right? Railway sleepers, most of them. So as per the requirement, what you can do, you can finalize a particular dimension for these sleepers, and you can cast multiple at the same time. Therefore, in railway sleepers, we will be using the concept of pre-tensioning only. Okay, we'll be using the concept of pre-tensioning. For repetitive type of structures, we will be going for pre-tensioning only. There are certain disadvantages also. What are the disadvantages? The first disadvantage is, we need a concrete bed and it can't be used for 28 days, right? You can't move the concrete. First, it should be casted there for 28 days, then remove the concrete. Only the next batch will be using it then. I hope it is very clear, right? Now let us see the post-tensioning also. Now let us see the post-tensioning also. So in post-tensioning, what we are doing? Obviously, if you are seeing from this side, we will be leaving a void inside. Okay, we will be having a duct, clear duct रहता है, ठीक है? Basically, we will be casting it with plastic, PVC, polyvinyl chloride. There will be a clear duct. In this duct, what I am doing is, I am introducing a steel, whatever, cable or steel bar also. There are a lot of methods. Okay, I will teach you the methods later on. There are a lot of methods. So I will be dragging this steel bar, and then what I will be doing, I will be anchoring it. Here I have a need of anchoring. If I don't anchor, what will happen? Obviously, you are dragging the steel wire and you are not anchoring, so it will go inside. There is no pre-stressing being generated. But if you are dragging it and apply the anchorage, but obviously what will happen now? This bar cannot go in and it will be pre-stressing my concrete. I hope it is very clear. समझ में आ गया, right? So once you have this steel bar inside, you cannot leave it idle. So what we do is we will be filling the remaining whatever space here in between the bar and this duct by concrete. Okay, by concrete or cement mortar. I hope it is very clear. Done? Got it? So what are the various method of post tensioning? Remember the names. These names are very important. Freyssinet system, Lee McCall, Magnell Blatton, and Griffin-Udall. So let me tell you the difference. See, no need to read in detail. Whatever I am teaching is more than enough. No need to read anything else. Okay. So generally it will be like this. What is the wedge doing here? Wedge is the anchorage. It will avoid the cable from going in. ये wedge क्या करेगा? यहाँ पे आके stuck हो जाएगा. Obviously, it will be here. So it will not allow my cable to go back. So that is the main purpose of the wedge or anchorage which you are going to give. So there are 4 type of methods in which you can do post tensioning. So one is Freyssinet, Lee McCall, Magnell Blatton, and Griffin-Udall. So I will tell you I will give you a table. Please write down here itself. In the notes itself, write down a table. And if a question comes, you will be easily able to answer. The first one is tendons. So what is the steel wires you are going to use? And type of anchorage. Let us see the first system. In Freyssinet system, we will be using wires. And we will be having conical concrete wedge. Okay. Similar to this. Freyssinet is this diagram. Okay. So we will be having a wire. It will be stretched and we will be adding a conical wedge. That's it. Now coming to next, Lee McCall. Lee McCall is very important, in which we will be not having multiple wires stretched and this conical wedge. We will be having only single bar. Remember, this is very important. As it is unique, it is very important. Lee McCall system, we will be having a single bar anchored at the ends. We will be having single bar anchored at the ends. Okay. Therefore, what it is used? It is used only in high strength concretes. Remember, it is used in high strength concretes. I hope it is very clear, right? So next is Magnell Blatton. In Magnell Blatton, obviously we will be using similar to that of Freyssinet system. We will be having wires, but here instead of having this conical wedge like this, we will be having a flat steel wedge. Okay. We will be having a flat steel plate. Remember, in Magnell Blatton, we will be having steel plate. We will be having what? We will be having steel plate. Flat steel plate. Next is Gifford-Udall. In Gifford-Udall, it is very similar to that of Freyssinet system. We will be having wires, but here we had only conical wedge. Here we have split conical wedge. There will be a split on conical wedge. Split conical wedge. I hope you will be remembering this. There are 4 methods in which you can apply this post tensioning: Freyssinet system, Lee McCall system, Magnell Blatton, and Gifford-Udall. Write these notes in notes so that you will not forget. In Freyssinet system, wires and conical wedge. In Lee McCall, we will be having one single bar anchored at the ends. It could be any type of anchorage, but one single bar. Whereas in other methods, it is all wires. Magnell Blatton क्या होता है? Wires but a steel plate. Okay. Whereas Gifford-Udall, we have wires but split conical wedge. Done. There are only 4 methods. Very important. Remember, whatever I have taught, question इसी में से आएगा. Don't waste your time on searching what are these methods. All this, whatever I thought is more than enough. Okay, this is the main thing from which the question comes. No one will teach you. You can see any online videos. No one will teach you like this. This is the table which you have to remember, and you will be able to get 2 marks in ESE if a question comes. Okay. So this is about the post tensioning. I hope you are perfect. And write down one more thing, very important. What are the equipment for pre-stressing? What is equipment needed for pre-stressing? It could be post tensioning or pre-tensioning. Pre-stressing के लिए equipment कौन सा चाहिए? First one is abutment. I am not talking about anchorage, beta. I am talking about abutment. Please be careful. I am talking about what? Abutment. Just give me a second. What I want first I want abutment. Second, obviously in pre-tensioning you might have seen, right, there was abutment on which we are dragging it. what is the instrument we will be using for dragging these wires? Obviously we need a jack, right? So we'll be using oil pressure jack. Oil pressure jack. So using this oil pressure jack, I will be dragging this wire and then I will be casting my pre-stressed concrete. Done. So two things are very clear: abutment, jack. Third one, anchoring device. Anchoring device. Anchoring device. Write down this one, very important. Okay, why do we need anchoring device? In post tensioning, what is happening? Obviously this whatever words you have introduced, it should be anchored to the ends, right? So we need anchoring device, as well as we need harping device. What we need? We need harping device. What is this harping device? Sometimes now we won't be just introducing this whatever tendons at neutral axis or just below neutral axis, but we'll be going for a certain profile. It could be parabolic profile like this, okay, or some different profile. You can go for something like this, okay. So why we go for it, I will explain you in the next module. But if you want such different shape, then for to maintaining that shape we need a equipment which is called as harping device. What it does, it gives profile or shape to my tendons. I hope it is very clear. So four important equipment: abutment, jack, anchoring device and harping device. This harping device naam yaad rakh lo, unique hai, many people don't know this, okay. Done. And one more thing, this abutment whatever you are using, right? So if you are seeing it properly, these bars are being stretched, right? So they are using self equilibrating system, okay, self equilibrating system. Why? Let us try to understand. If you are just stretching it using a certain device, obviously you need a heavier foundation for this, right? You need heavier foundation so that these stresses can be transferred to the bottom. But here we are using self equilibrating technique. You can see the diagram, you can just google it and see the diagram. Just go to images and see the diagram. The technique we are using is self equilibrating technique. Therefore what happens is these two nullify each other and there won't be any forces being transferred to the bottom. Got it? समझ में आ गया? So this is self equilibrating mechanism which we use in abutments. Very important. Just remember once. Now let us end today's module solving one problem. Okay. You already know these formulas, right? You already know these formulas. I have already derived. If you want, you can read it once again. You can derive on your own and you will be more than perfect. Now problem solving is very important. I know it's already 45 minutes old, but let us solve this problem. Once you solve this problem, you will be more than perfect. Okay. There is a simply supported beam of effective span subjected to live load of 25 kilonewton per meter. So what is the live load? 25 kilonewton per meter. Having the section size, what is the section size? What is your B into D? 400 into 600 mm. Cable area, the area of cable is 1200 mm square. Very important problem, please be careful. And what is the eccentricity? It is placed at 180 mm from neutral axis. He has just given eccentricity, but it is your common sense to assume that eccentricity is from neutral axis, right? And initial stress in the cable, what is the initial stress in the cable? वो आके 1200 Newton per mm square. Calculate stress in the top and bottom fibers at midspan and end of the beam. It is a simply supported beam, a beam like this. So due to the loading, what will be the moment generated at the end? It is a simply supported end hai. There won't be any moments. You know how the moment diagram will look like, right? तो ends के पास तो कोई moment नहीं रहता है. Because of the moment, there won't be any stresses developed at the ends. It is only because of the pre-stressing. But if you are seeing at the center, because of the pre-stressing plus because of the moments, you will be getting the stresses. Your stresses will be because of pre-stressing and because of moments. Concept is clear? This problem is very important, so please be careful. Please be careful. How much is the pre-stress? Pre-stress, let us try to understand. It is at an eccentricity of 180 mm. 180 mm. So obviously, whenever I am transferring it, I will be getting the load P as well as I will be getting my P. Agreed or not? I will be getting my P. Agreed? So what is my load? What is my load P? That is nothing but area into stress in cable. Agreed or not? So what is area of cable? He has given 1200 mm square. And cable ka stress 1200 mm square he has given in question. So if you are multiplying 1200, you will be getting 144. What is happening? I think I'm teaching for more than like 1 hour system, but I hope you are understanding it, right? So you will be getting your load. You will be getting your load, and you can also calculate your PE, right? Load into E. You will be getting what is the moment being generated because of my eccentric stressing of my beam. I hope it is very clear. So what is the stress which is getting at the support? Let us be very clear. If I have a support, at this support, what is the stress I am getting? It is nothing but P by A plus PE, moment, M by I into Fy, right? M by I into Y, right? Same formula I am using. P by A plus PE by I into YF. Okay, so what is P? P is 200 into 200 by A, area of my beam. I know dimensions are 400 into 600, so I will be getting P by A. And next I have PE by I. So PE, you know, 200 into 200 into E was 180 divided by your I. What is I? It is nothing but BD cube by 12, right? So here B was 400, D was 600. So 400 into 600 cube by 12 into your Y, your distance of extreme fiber from your neutral axis. If total depth is 600, so this depth will be 300. This depth will be 300 or 600 by 2. If you are doing this simple calculation, you will be getting this 6 and this as 10.8. So at the top fiber, what you will be getting? 6 minus, sorry. So at the top 6 minus 10.8, which is minus 4.8 Newton per mm square. And at the bottom it will be 6 plus 10.8, which will be 16.8 Newton per mm square. Please practice this problem afterwards also, very important. So at the ends, what you are getting? At the ends, because of the pre-stressing, in this case, you are getting tension at the top and compression at the bottom. But 99.99%, this is the question which will be asked. He will just ask what is at the middle. Okay? Middle is most important because there you will be getting maximum moment and वहीं पे फेल होने के चांसेस मैक्सिमम रहते हैं भी. So you will be checking obviously if nothing is given also at the middle only. So let us go to the middle. So what you have to do? Obviously whenever you are having some pre-stressing, because of the pre-stressing you will be having P by A, and because of the moment it got generated, you know, PE by I into Y, as well as because of the load there will be moment being generated at the center because of the dead load as well as live load. Agreed or not? Simple सी बात है. So how much is this moment? You know, it is a simply supported beam. In simply supported beam, my moment at the center is WL square by 8. तो वही डालूंगा formula, simple formula. You know everything. So the thing here is, in the question he has given us the live load as 25 kilonewton per meter. So whenever student sees this, he will just design for live load. 25 kilonewton per meter into L square divided by L. 8. L he has given us 10. So 25 into 10 square by 8. You will be getting wrong answer. Be careful whenever he has not given dead load. It is your responsibility to consider the dead load also. How to consider? You know the dimensions, breadth and depth, you know. So 400 mm into 600 mm, which is 0.4 meters into 0.6 meters. You can consider per meter. You can consider per meter. So that will be 1 meter, right? So 0.4 into 0.6 into 1 into 25 kilonewton. So this will be your dead load per meter. As simple as that. So once you got your dead load, add dead load and live load, that will be 31. You can do separately also. You can calculate MD by I into Y plus ML live load divided by I into Y. But to save time, what you can do, instead of doing 2 steps, you can just add live load and dead load, and for that you can take the moment. That will be easy, right? So what will be the moment due to dead load plus live load? That will be very simple. Here 6 plus 25, that is 31 into L square. L square length was given as 10 meters, so 10 square divided by 8. So you will be getting your moment due to this dead load and live load, that is 387.5 kilonewton meter in this case. So what you have to do? Just stress diagrams. So whatever stress diagrams you got, P by A wala, you can draw the stress diagrams, right, and check. It will be very convenient for you. Okay. So you got P by I into Y, and due to the moment, live load and dead load, due to the live load and dead load. So these are the T diagrams you got. So obviously it is very simple now. At the top, what you will be getting? You will be getting P by A minus P by I into Y. You can see the direction of your force stresses, or you can draw the diagram perfectly so that you will not have any confusion. P by A minus P by I into Y. You know this was 4 and this was 10.8, right? And here you will be getting M moment, you got 387.5 by I, again 400 into 600 cube by 12 into your Y, which is 300. 600 by 2, 300. If you do this, you will be getting how much? Just let us check the answer. We don't have time, so I'm rushing, but you can solve this problem and check. So you will be getting how much? You will be getting 6. P by A was 6 and this value was 10.8, and this value you are getting 16.145. So the stress will be 11.345 Newton per mm square. I hope it is very simple. So 11.345 Newton per mm square. And what will be the stress at the bottom fiber? Very simple, that will be P by A plus, you can see the diagram, P by I into Y, and यहाँ पे आ जाएगा minus MD plus L by I into Y, right? So just it will be 6 plus 10.8 minus 16.145. You can see how much is the stress coming at the bottom. It is 0.655 Newton per mm square. We have considered compression as positive. That means at the bottom, even at the center, we are not having any tensile stresses. That is the advantage of pre-stress. I hope you are getting it right. In the next module, I will teach you why we are placing these cables, not just at eccentricity, but we are also shaping this. We are also giving certain shape, parabola or like this linear shapes. Why we are giving it, I will explain you in the next module. And in next module, I will be concluding the chapter of pre-stress. Okay. After that, I will teach you one more module of loss of pre-stress. Okay. Have a nice day. I hope you have enjoyed this module. If you have enjoyed, please like this module as well as share it with your friends. Have a nice day. See you in next module.